Welcome back to The Wedding Buzz. It's your host, Sydney, and today I'm so excited to introduce my guest, Stephany, who is a San Diego, California wedding planner. Stephany and I virtually met through a wedding planner group, and we've become like cross-country friends and someone that I can bounce like business ideas or questions off of. And so I'm really excited to have her on. Her events look amazing, and she's so sweet. So welcome, Stephany. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me, Sydney. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited too. I feel like our conversations are always like, you're that like one
fun.
Yeah, you're one person I can be like, hey, how do you charge for this? Or how would you handle the situation? Right? And I appreciate having that person and a friend in the wedding planning world.
Yes. And you're my social media guru. So anytime I have social media questions, I go right to you.
I don't know. It's a learn as I go. It's a process.
I hear you.
I know these days being a business owner, you have to be like a social
good
media.
At everything.
You have to be a content creator at the same time. But
they didn't tell me that when I went to school, that you'd have to do social media, everything.
everything. Okay. Well, as you and I were preparing for this, we were just talking about like, what are common things that come up with brides, especially it's the new year and there's a lot of newly engaged couples.
Yeah.
So let's just dive into it. The first thing we want to talk about today is like, when should I book my vendors? How far in advance?
A lot of my brides are asking that, especially with the new year. Lots of my brides are getting, got engaged around Thanksgiving and Christmas. And now it's like this new world of wedding planning. And they're like, what do I do first? Where do I start? I would say rule of thumb is get that venue locked down. I think venue is always first. Once you kind of know what venue you want, you can decide what caterers can come into the venue. You can decide if you want to do outside catering. There's just a lot that goes into it that's venue specific. So if you don't have that down first, I think that's kind of challenging. Wouldn't you say?
I totally
really know.
I totally agree. I say pick your venue even before your planner, because a lot of venues have like a required vendor list, or if you end up picking a venue, like you pick your planner and then you fall in love with a venue that's like 2 hours away from that planner. Now do you have to pay travel fees, and like the planner might not have the same availability as the venue. And
exactly.
Even though, I want people to book me,
of course,
like your venue probably matters a little bit more. Like you can find a different planner in the area or something. But if you fall in love with a venue, like that's your whole wedding is that venue. So
100%. 100%.
How far in advance are you finding venues booking up?
Yes, it's so crazy. And here in San Diego, I don't know if it's the same where you're at, but certain venues do have specifications for planners. So there are some venues that will not take outside planners. Mm-hmm. So and those venues seem to get booked up really fast. And I think post-COVID, everyone is finally able to celebrate their wedding. And a lot of our venues here are getting booked up really fast, 2 years in advance. So I have some couples who have had their wedding venue booked for a couple years because it's getting crazy.
Yep. Same here.
Don't lose hope. There are venues available.
There are. They're
getting booked up fast.
It totally depends on like the size of the wedding and all of that. Yeah. But they do. I'd say at least like a year in advance. Start looking.
At least.
Start looking.
And as far as florists, DJ, hair and makeup, I always say 8 to 10 months. You want to make sure to get that preview in with your makeup artist 2 to 3 months in advance. So you want to make sure to get that trial done. DJ around the same. I'd say 8 to 10 months. Here in San Diego, there are several that are really popular. So those really popular ones, the sooner the better. Mm-hmm. If you're looking for someone specific, catering, the same. You want to have time to taste it. If they allow a tasting, you want to have time to make sure that they have all of the certificates that they need or the insurance information that they need. Sometimes venues are really particular about that. So I'd say 8 to 10 months, you want to start looking at booking everything.
I totally agree. And it does seem like a lot, and something that I try to remind brides, it's like, you don't have to make all your decisions 8 to 10 months. You just got to get on their calendar, get that deposit. Yes. Like you don't have to make your final food choices and flower choices and everything
Right.
10 months before your wedding. No, you're going to have other meetings later on, and you can change your mind. Maybe not a million times, but like you can think through this as time goes on, but at least get on their calendar. Especially like just get that date, because most vendors can only be in one place at a time. I mean, some things like rental companies can do multiple events, but even if, I mean, they only have so many gold chairs. And so if they're all rented for someone else, you know, then that's gone. You can always maybe change like the type of flowers that you want or little tweaks, but get on their calendars.
Color scheme. Absolutely. I'm with you 100%. What do you find is most challenging for brides, like in your area? So like, do you feel like it's usually the DJ or the flowers, or where do you find is like the hardest one for your brides to find?
I feel like flowers are difficult just because they're so much more expensive than people think.
So true. So true.
Like,
yes.
It's shocking how expensive they are. I would say that sometimes flowers is hard. Not always just like the availability of it, but like
the sticker shock.
Yeah. Like making a decision on it. And it's also flowers and decor. It's like almost a little heartbreaking when people realize that like they can't afford their Pinterest wedding.
I know.
How about you? What would you say?
I would say exactly the same. Florals. Like I can peg down catering, DJ, hair and makeup really easily. But those floral prices, when a bride comes to me and asks about how much they think I'm going to cost, it can really range so drastically. There's no real way for me to give a good estimate because each florist is different. If it's a different flower, if they want to line the aisles, I mean, down to putting petals down your aisle, you're charged for that. So I think that's just one of the things that it's a sticker shock for a lot of brides. It's just a lot.
It is a lot. And like in the florist rental companies, like in their defense, it's a lot of work. It's expensive.
Oh, absolutely.
Flowers for them to buy are expensive. And the setup, like it has to be good. I mean, I'm sure you've seen videos of like full wedding arches just like falling during the ceremony.
Yes.
And you don't want that. Yeah. Right. And so it's a lot, like it has to be done right. They typically need a pretty decent sized staff to set everything up because they only have, they can't set everything up days in advance. Like they they do what they can at their place, but they got to bring it and within a few hours, the day of the wedding, set it up. So they're paying probably.
And they have to keep it fresh.
They have to.
Think about that too. Just a storage space, to make sure that they arrive to you fresh and not wilted. It's huge.
Yeah, it is huge. And then they have to take it all down at the end of the night, and they need staff. They need staff to help do that. So it is a lot, which I'm now realizing that I jumped into our topic. I guess I was excited. I didn't even let you introduce like yourself or your business.
Oh my gosh. I know. I did. It's totally
I said that you're a wedding planner.
We talk wedding. That's our language.
I said that you're a wedding planner in San Diego, but talk about your business. Who are you?
Okay, we'll jump back a little bit. So yes, I'm a wedding planner in San Diego. We also service like the greater Los Angeles area. We're going into Arizona, a little bit of Las Vegas. So kind of excited. This is a big year. I have a team of 4 so far, and they're all amazing. One of the things that I love about my company is we're all stay-at-home moms. So we're all moms at some point, most of us currently. And it's just a way for us to, a lot of us were business, in the business world. I was in the healthcare world for lots and lots of years. And this was a creative outlet for all of us kind of as a side hustle. And then I just decided, you know what? I love this. This is what I'm passionate about. And I brought on other moms who felt the same. So it's just wonderful. I think we're coming out of that COVID where we're finally able to see so many people get married. And it's so like, I don't know about you, but I feel so honored every time I do a wedding because like you're literally coming into someone's best day. So I don't have to deal with people on their worst day. I deal with them on their best day. And so it's so exciting. I love what I do. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I mean, you see what you get. I'm very demonstrative, and a lot of the girls in my team are the same. And we're so honored anytime someone chooses us because it's great. It's so fun.
I love that. And I do like when I tell people like, oh, I'm a wedding planner, they're like, oh my God, I don't know how you do that. And I'm like, well, I used to work, a corporate 9-to-5 job. And I'll say like, I don't know how you do that. And like that, of course there's stressful parts of wedding planning, but there's stressful parts of every job. So at least this is like pretty.
Something you love, right?
Yeah. Exactly. At least weddings are fun and pretty. And if it's good, if we have to work, like might as well throw a party. Like
exactly. It's actually funny because when I was in the corporate world, I was labeled as the team mom. So anytime we had a party or whatever, that was like everyone knew that Stephany was going to decorate the cubicle and, make it a big pomp and circumstance for someone in the office. And so it was just natural for me. I'm like, this is something that I love to do. Right. Administrative is huge. You have to have those really, really good administrative and organizational skills. And the corporate world really helped me prepare for that. But now it's just all fun and I love to keep things organized. And I know you're the same way, Sydney. So it's just super great.
Oh yeah. I mean,
do what we love.
There's definitely like the organization and the logistics and like it's not all a party. It definitely is not. No,
it's not.
No, I mean, I have a project management background and stuff. So that definitely helps. That helps. If I'm doing project management, I enjoy doing it for a party, for a wedding.
Right? Who wouldn't?
Exactly. And I'm the same way. I feel like I still am not allowed to talk about it, but I finally can. My sister is pregnant and it's the first.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's the first baby on like both sides of the family. First grandchild. And I've known this secret for like 3 months now. And so she finally announced on Christmas.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm like,
you're gonna be the best, Anne.
I'm in my auntie era.
Yes, you are.
You're a fellow Swiftie, right? Everything.
Oh, of course I am.
Everything is eras.
What is it called? Copyright? I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but Evermore was definitely, Evermore Weddings was definitely influenced by Swift.
Okay.
We're big Swiftie fans. Yeah.
Yes.
We're actually going to London next year to see Taylor.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Actually, this year. Oh my gosh, we're in 2024.
This year.
This August. We're seeing Tay live.
Oh, I went to the Eras tour, but I'm still jealous. I want to go again. Anyway,
we digress.
We digress. I was just saying that when you were saying like in the office, like you were throwing parties, now that my sister finally announced she's pregnant, I'm like, so the baby shower.
Yeah, you're party mode.
Yeah, 100%. I have like, no, I was like, so I have a Pinterest board for your baby shower. Let's get to planning. That's what really matters.
Like, just take care of it.
Yeah, she's like, I need to plan, I need a stroller. I'm like, you'll get that. Like, let's plan the shower.
Do the party first.
We have to celebrate first.
Right?
Important things. Okay, so back to focus.
Focus.
So the next thing that we had talked about is, how do I know if I'm getting a good deal?
Good question. I would say, this is what I tell my brides. I would say get a couple of quotes. I have also known brides that get like 10 or 11 quotes. And if I'm honest with you, that's almost worse because you have all of these people. You don't remember who you talked to. You don't remember what you heard. I say go on Instagram, look and see, what people are offering on their hashtags, look and see like what your vibe is, right? You really want to vibe with the people that you work with. That's like such a word right now, right? Vibe. But you really want to work with the people that you love and are going to cast your vision. So I would say 2 or 3, get 2 or 3 good quotes, find the people that fit you the most, and then see what works. Now, there's also, one might be more expensive than the other, but you really, really felt like they had a better grasp of your vision. Sometimes money is kind of less on the forefront, and you really want to make sure that person has your back on your wedding. So I would say get a couple of, quotes. Deal, it's up to you, right? So there's also time is money, that
I literally have that like on my note, I added that time versus money, because what's a good deal? Is the good deal saving money, or is the good deal saving your time? Is the good deal
and your sanity?
Yeah, your sanity. That is a good
Are you
thing.
still going to get married at the end of this, right? Like that's the end goal.
Right. Is your relationship still okay?
Right.
But it is, I mean, I totally agree. If you get 10 quotes, you're going to get so overwhelmed, but get a few, get 3 maybe, compare. And I mean, I see with my couples, they don't always choose the cheapest option. Like,
nope.
I had one just choose a photographer that was, in my opinion, too expensive. I mean, their work is beautiful, but I was like, that's a lot of money. But they felt most comfortable. They were like, I love their work. I don't care to spend the money because I know I'm going to get a good product out of this. I know 100%. That they're going to be there. And I get it. Like, if you have the money to spend and you're going to sleep better at night knowing that I mean, it all comes down to like, you got to know, like, and trust.
That's it. And value. What do you value? Do you value the time? Do you value the money? A good deal for me might be different for you, right? So I think you have to sit down with your partner and decide what is a good deal for us. What does a good deal mean? So I would say it's hard to quantify that. Yeah.
And cheap doesn't always mean a good deal, because, I unfortunately have seen like all-inclusive venues, and they include the DJ and they include all this stuff. And it's like, you get all this stuff for a super low price. And you just have to pause and think, why can I get all these things for such a low price? Like, maybe the quality isn't there. And then is it really a good deal, or is it just not good quality?
Yeah. And you also have to consider, I mean, just in my experience, I actually had a bride recently who left one of her planners and came to me for lack of communication, right? That's another thing, right? So if you're not getting communicated with, that's really unnerving. You're getting close to your wedding. And she is such an amazing bride. But I did feel bad for her because now she was out the deposit for the last one, and now she's putting it deposit on mine. So it can cost more in the end if you're not careful when you pick out in the beginning. And had maybe she decided, well, I'm going to just spring a little bit more for the planner that communicated with me, I think it would have been a different outcome. But with that being said, you just have to decide what is valuable to you. If you're okay with not communicating with someone and you'd rather pay the $500 less, that's perfect, right?
Yeah.
Find what works for you.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. Okay. Another hot topic, family dynamics. There's a lot of, keep mom out of the planning, or keep my mother-in-law out of the planning, or sister, whoever. I'm sure you get this as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. I think one of the things that I actually ask this question on intake: is there anything that I need to know about your family dynamics that could later on down the road be more stressful for you? Number one, right? And number two, on the day of the wedding, do I need to be prepared, right? Do I need to be prepared for any sort of audible? And I would say 9 times out of 10, there's absolutely family dynamics, right? It's like an exciting time. It's super fun, but it can also be very stressful and overwhelming. And you have people coming in from all over the place, and everyone has an opinion. So what I always say to the couple: I work for you. I work for you. I want you to have your best day. So what does that mean for you? Does that mean that, mother-in-law can make all the suggestions, but at the end of the day, we don't put them in the wedding? Or do we make a compromise where we, maybe mother-in-law will give me an idea and I'll find a good happy medium? But it's really important that you share that with your planner. If you know that there are some family dynamics that are maybe not as pleasant as others, it needs to be said. So, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the same thing, but there's just a lot of different people and a lot of different emotions and a lot of opinions.
It is definitely, I mean, exactly what you said. There's a lot of people. There's always family dynamics. Some great, some not great. And, people have opinions. I think the other thing, which I'm curious your opinion, but I think I know it, is when like parents have strong opinions and they're the ones paying for the wedding.
I
mean, my opinion is I always side with the bride and groom, like the couple. Always, my opinion is if parents are paying for the wedding, respect their wishes. But my opinion
100%.
is if you're paying for their wedding, that money is a gift to the couple. And it's still their day. Again, respect what the parents want, try to meet in the middle, but I'm always going to side with the couple getting married. I'm sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's ways that we get around that, right? Like, I think as planners, we know that we're going to walk into those sometimes. So like, it's not a big deal. If mom wants red linen, you want white linen, pink is not always the great middle, you have to choose one. So maybe we do the white linen and add an accent of red, or, you know what I mean? Somewhere, like you said, meet in the middle. But at the end of the day, it is the bride and groom's decision. They're the ones who are going to look back and say, this was my dream day, or this was mom's dream day.
Right.
So you really don't want that latter part.
It's quite a happy medium, because you also don't want to make anyone upset. And so like at the bride and groom, like I would say, pick your battles, like try to figure out maybe what you're really strongly like, no, I don't care if I make mom mad, like this is what I want. And then find areas that you're like, okay, mom can have this, like find those areas so that those people don't feel like totally excluded.
Right. Exactly.
But it's still your day.
Yeah. And discuss it ahead of time. I have brides where we discuss it. If I know on the intake call that it's something that's a little bit more of a challenge, a couple months before, we're talking about that. If mom decides that she wants, a swan walking down the aisle and you don't, do we want to discuss that beforehand?
Yeah.
That type of thing.
And also tell your planner, like
prepared.
Communicate, like tell your planner, should mom be included in all emails? Or not included in all of the emails, like those things, telling your planner from the beginning is going to make a big difference. Because then the planner can, choose wisely how they're deciding how to move forward.
Exactly. And then you have those brides who are like, I don't want to do anything. Just my mom can make all the decisions, right? So
my mom's going to do everything.
That too.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that too, where brides are like, I don't know, my mom's
I love.
Yeah, it is. It's sweet. It's nice. And most of the moms are like so excited.
Amazing. Yeah.
My poor mom. I was like, it's my wedding.
Were you a bridezilla?
I was not a bridezilla. I just was like, it's my day. No, my mom.
I think planners are the worst, right? Because we want it
for sure. I was like, this is how I want it. No, my mom was included. My mom helped a lot, but I definitely.
Oh, that's amazing.
There were a few things that I was like, no, my day. All right. Well, I ask everybody that's on the podcast, do you have any wedding day horror stories?
Oh my goodness. I wouldn't say like horror because they're very common, you know what I mean? But I think anytime they happen, it just like gets my cortisol levels higher, I think, than others. Always when someone brings a guest that was not planned. So I had a wedding recently where everything was, it was plated. So it was very specific. Everyone chose their own plate. Everyone had a specific name card, right? So everyone had their spot. And a couple people brought significant others that the bride and groom did not know about. They were family members. So it was a really touchy subject, right? You couldn't just ask the family member to leave. So yeah, that is always horrifying for me because I really want to make sure that everyone is accommodated, but also the parents were paying. So it was a lot for the parents, right? To have 3 or 4 extra plates that they weren't expecting. So yeah, I'd say that was a horror story. Always family dynamics. If you have family members that don't get along, unfortunately, you don't want to have to call security or anything like that. But I have had to do that before. So I think those are my 2 like horror ones. How about you? Do you have any bad ones?
Nothing like terrible personally, but like, I mean, same. I mean, guests that aren't invited, it happens. I don't understand. I'm like, how do you just show up to a wedding you're not invited to?
Right.
I feel like people don't understand how much goes into it, or like, they're like, whatever. But it is really frustrating. I mean, at least ask the couple, like at least ask if you can bring the person.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
and how do you deal with that, Sydney? Like, I think that's something else we could go into, even stemming from this, as a couple, what would you tell your couples? Do you let them know beforehand, hey, this could happen? What do you want to do? What is your thoughts on that? What would you usually do?
I mean, I try to leave like wiggle room in timeline because things always come up. I try to leave seating arrangements, an extra seat somewhere or something.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
If possible. Just in case it happens. I don't know. I'm always at like, let's shoot high in case. Like, oh, that person's maybe coming, maybe not coming. Okay, let's just count them as coming. And like, they might end up paying for a seat that they're not like going to have to. But I feel like, if going into that wedding week, like, okay, this is what we're paying, or this is how many people, and then someone like drops down, it's not as big of a problem as if like now you're adding people, like there's physically not room at the table.
And that's what happened for sure.
What did you do?
Like, I actually haven't
had someone just show up. I've had people like the day before the wedding be like, hey, I'm bringing my girlfriend. And it's like, ugh.
Oh my God.
And so a little scramble, but like, I haven't had just someone show up. What did you do?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, it was kind of awkward, especially since the mom, the mother of the bride, is such a sweetheart. She came up to me. She goes, I don't know what to do. These people are here. I don't have place cards for them. I don't have food for them. She's like, this is going to be an extra expense for us because, we're adding 3-4 extra heads. So I spoke to the venue manager. By the way, if you are a venue manager or if you know a venue manager, they're amazing. So honestly, the venue managers are just incredible. I could not do my job without them. So I talked to my venue manager, which was my right hand. And I'm like, here's what we're doing. Where can we start fitting people in? There were a couple tables that were tight, right? So it went from 8 chairs to 9 chairs. So there were a couple tables that were a little bit tighter. Thankfully, I had one of my assistants. She does calligraphy. So we did a quick, name card for them. And I talked to the vending manager. They're like, don't worry about it. We always put in extra food. So they always give a 5% extra. So they know, if someone wants an additional plate or for some reason like this happens, they had a contingency plan. So it was just working with the venue manager. It was beautiful. Nobody was any the wiser. The bride emailed me after the honeymoon and she's like, we need to have a debriefing because I have no idea how you pulled that off, but no one knew. So I think it's just working with the venue manager. Things happen. My goal is to never let the bride never knows. Yeah. The bride and the groom never know. If they never know about it, I've done my job.
Exactly. So, there's not like there might not be a perfect answer, but it's just like you just make it happen. You just make something work and deal with it. And hopefully the bride and groom just don't know about it. Don't worry about it. And you just move on. I think that's part of our job is just dealing.
We take all the balls so that no one, we juggle all the balls so that the bride and groom can just enjoy their day.
Right. Exactly. And that's, I think a good wedding planner is not someone that's going to freak out when a situation arises. It's just like, okay,
100%.
This is what we're doing.
What we got to do.
Like make a fast decision here. We're going to do this and it's going to happen.
My steps were off the chart, Sydney. So I tracked my steps that day, that specific wedding, my steps were off the chart. I was running back and forth. But I get a lot of exercise.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. My feet are always so sore at the end of the day.
Yes.
What shoes do you wear as a planner?
On Clouds. Do you know what On Clouds are?
No, I'm going to have to.
They're like tennis shoes. Invest. Okay. So my mom is a nurse. I know a lot of friends who are nurses, and that's a big one. It was either that or nursing clogs that people were suggesting. And they help so much.
Oh,
They
I
help
think
so
I
much.
maybe have seen
Yeah.
on clouds. I have I have like Cole Haan like dress sneakers.
Oh, I don't think I've seen dress sneakers.
They're like
I do change. I change. Do you do that? Do you change? I do for the ceremony because I'm usually in pictures or video of some sort. So I wear my nice heels, and then when ceremony's done, I wear tennis shoes. So I
wear
can
your
run.
tennis shoes.
Yeah.
I do different things every time.
Yeah.
Like sometimes depending on the day, like I'll arrive in leggings and a t-shirt until later in the day and then make myself look more presentable. Sometimes I try to just wear my like dressy sneakers all day.
The whole time.
The whole time. Yeah, I don't know. It changes. I've made the mistake of wearing like ballet flats all day and it's awful. Just awful.
Those are the worst. And I've tried, do you know what teaks are? People have tried like teaks. They're like, try teaks. They're the best like ballet flats. Yeah. I don't know if it's just my feet. I have a funky arch, but ballet flats hurt me every time.
I have wide
regret
feet.
It every time.
No.
Yeah, there's no way.
I'm a sneaker girl.
100%.
I'm trying to make sneakers look professional is my goal.
Oh yeah. We can do it.
I actually wore sneakers on my own wedding day. Right after the ceremony, I put sneakers on. They were like cute and white, sparkly sneakers, but I was like,
yes,
I'm not wearing heels all night long. I'm going to have fun here.
And you can get them personalized now. So I have a bride who's getting personalized Converse.
Oh, how cute.
So she's getting like her date of the wedding on the back and her name, like her new name stitched in, embroidered in, and they're going to be so cute. So there's so many things you can do now.
And if you have a long wedding dress, no one can see your shoes.
Exactly.
Just enjoy. I definitely think enjoy your night. Don't be uncomfortable in heels. Nope. All right. What is one piece of advice that you want to give to brides?
To brides
or grooms or whoever,
both, all of them. I would say to a bride and groom, really take time. I think that's something that take time out of your day, find ways to take time. I try to, as the planner, allow that, right? Because you're moving from one thing to another, trying to make sure that, your guests are happy, but really take the time. It goes by so fast. I can't even tell you, like sometimes I think, oh my gosh, an 11-hour day, 12-hour day is so long, but it goes by so fast. And it's the one day and you've really taken time to plan it and sweat over it and cry over it. Make sure you enjoy it. So have that last dance. I had a couple that they're just the sweetest. They decided to have an impromptu dance at the end where everybody was out of the venue and they just danced. And I think if I were to ask them, that's probably the most favorite moment of just being alone, enjoying the day, the night, wrapping it up. So take time in between after you have your ceremony, before you take your pictures, get a good look at your new spouse and just enjoy the day. Don't be so caught up in what are we doing next? Or what if this person isn't having a good time? You're just enjoy the day because it's your time. Right?
Yeah, I totally agree. And the other thing to piggyback that is like, don't lose your spouse at the reception. A lot of the time, like, you get pulled in one direction and they get pulled in another direction, or like the bride really likes to dance and the groom doesn't like to dance, so she's on the dance floor and he's not, and it's like, this is your wedding. You want to be with your significant other, and then the photographer can't get pictures of you guys having fun together if you're not having fun together. So I try to, stick together. Say hi to your guests, but don't feel like you have to hit the entire room. Like, let them come to you, have fun, be with each other. And even grooms, if you don't like to dance, just be on the dance floor. You don't have to. Yeah. You don't have to
pretend
dance
for like 5 minutes.
Pretend. Just kind of be with your significant other. Don't get lost the whole night and not actually be together, because it goes by so fast. So fast, the day's gone.
I look back and I'm like, wow, this day, and I'm not even the bride and groom. I'm like, this day went by so quickly. So I know even more so if you're having a good time.
Yes, exactly. Well, this was so fun. I'm so glad that you were on here.
Thank you.
Where can listeners find you?
They can find me at Evermore Weddings SD on Instagram. My website, is www.evermoreweddingevents.com. But Instagram is really where you can find me. Come look me up, send me a DM. I'd love to hear from you.
And I know you're based in San Diego, but you sounds like you'll travel.
Oh yeah, we're traveling. Yeah. Like I said, the greater Los Angeles area is pretty common. Arizona, we're also doing Las Vegas. I have family members in Colorado, so I'm trying to break into the Colorado market too.
There you go.
Any reason to travel, but I will go anywhere. My team will go anywhere. We're just so happy to be a part of a special day. So
awesome. Well, it was so fun having you on here. I think that everything we talked about is like pretty important things for couples planning to hear. Yeah. And good luck with your business. It sounds like it's growing and that's awesome.
It's going to be a good 2024.
Yes. I have high hopes for this year.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Sydney.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Take care. Bye.